The Trump administration has dealt a devastating blow to global development efforts with its recent decision to slash USAID funding. Over 90% of USAID contracts, representing a staggering $60 billion, have been eliminated. This abrupt move has sent shockwaves across the globe, leaving millions in desperate need. The administration claims these cuts are in the interest of the U.S. government, but the human cost is undeniable. The termination of approximately 10,000 USAID contracts signifies a dramatic shift in U.S. foreign policy. Programs that have been instrumental in combating hunger, disease, and poverty are being shut down. These cuts are not mere budgetary adjustments. They represent a retreat from America's role as a global leader and a champion of humanitarian aid. The consequences of these cuts are being felt most acutely in vulnerable communities worldwide. From the Democratic Republic of Congo to Ethiopia, from Senegal to South Sudan, the withdrawal of USAID support is pushing millions further into despair. The sudden halt to essential healthcare, food assistance, and poverty alleviation programs is jeopardizing decades of progress. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, Action Against Hunger has been forced to stop treating tens of thousands of malnourished children. The loss of this vital program will have dire consequences for these vulnerable children, many of whom are already struggling to survive. In Ethiopia, over 1 million people have lost access to food assistance, and contracts for 5,000 healthcare workers have been terminated. This will cripple the country's already fragile healthcare system and exacerbate food insecurity in a region prone to drought and famine. Senegal's fight against malaria has also suffered a major setback, with the closure of a critical program that provided bed nets and medication. Maternal and child health services, including vital nutrition programs, have also been shut down. The consequences for mothers and their children will be devastating. In South Sudan, a project run by the International Rescue Committee, which provided essential aid to over 115,000 people, has been forced to close its doors. This leaves a vulnerable population without a lifeline in a country ravaged by conflict and hunger. Beyond the immediate impact on health and nutrition, the USAID cuts threaten to unravel decades of progress in developing countries. Education initiatives are being halted, infrastructure projects are being abandoned, and economic development programs are being dismantled. The loss of these investments will have long-lasting consequences, hindering economic growth and perpetuating cycles of poverty. The cuts also undermine efforts to promote democracy, good governance, and human rights around the world. Programs that support civil society organizations, promote free and fair elections, and combat corruption are being shuttered. This retreat from promoting democratic values will create a vacuum that authoritarian regimes will be all too eager to fill. The decision to slash USAID funding is not only short-sighted, but also strategically unwise. By withdrawing support for developing countries, the Trump administration is creating conditions that will make America less safe. Failed states are breeding grounds for terrorism, instability, and mass migration. Section 4, America's Retreat, the World's Loss. The drastic cuts to USAID send a clear message to the world. America is retreating from its global responsibilities. This retreat comes at a time when global challenges, from climate change to pandemics, require greater international cooperation, not less. The decision to abandon America's long-standing commitment to global development is not only morally wrong but also strategically short-sighted. It undermines America's credibility and influence in the world, making it harder to address global challenges and advance American interests. The impact of these cuts will be felt for generations to come. Children who are denied access to education will be trapped in a cycle of poverty. Communities that lack access to healthcare will be more susceptible to disease, and countries that are deprived of development assistance will struggle to achieve stability and prosperity. Section 5, a call to action. The Trump administration's decision to gut USAID is a tragedy for millions of people around the world. It is a betrayal of American values and a strategic blunder of epic proportions. Congress must act swiftly to reverse these reckless cuts and reaffirm America's commitment to global development. We must not allow short-sighted budget cuts to undermine decades of progress in the fight against poverty, hunger, and disease. The world is watching, and history will judge us harshly if we turn our backs on those in need.